lagi naming paalala na walang tama o maling sagot sa ating bawat debating ginagawa. Ito ay platform lamang para mapakinggan ang iba't ibang perspective ng ating mga kabataan tungkol sa issue ng bayan. Kaya bago tayo magsimula, atin munang panoorin ang ground rules and mechanics ng ating debate. Narito po.
May dalawang teams na maglalaban, ang Team Pro at Team Con, na may tig-tatlong miyembro. Ang team leaders ang unang sasalang sa ating debate. Para sa bawat tanong, may 3 rounds or lives ang bawat isa na may 30 seconds per speaker per round. Kapag sobrang intense at walang gustong magpatalo, we activate the bonus round. 1 minute and 30 seconds yan na free flow discussion. Meaning, bahala na magsagutan ang magkabilang panig. Pero kung halimbawa, hindi na makarebat ang naunang debater, pwede siyang mag-buzz para palitan ng ibang team member. Ito ang twist. Bilang mga host, may kapangyarihan kaming mag-buzz sa gitna ng laban. Kung medyo off, boring, o hindi kami satisfied sa sagot ng sinumang debater, we can buzz you out at papalitan ng ibang team member. Kaya make sure na hindi lang matalino ang sagot nyo. Dapat klaro, direkta, at convincing. Bring your best arguments.
Simulan na natin ang ating panimulang argumento mula sa ating mga team leaders, of course, Javan and Justine. Bakit kayo naniniwala na ang malalang problema sa pagbaha sa ating bansa ay dulot ng poor engineering governance? At sa inyo naman, Justine, ay bakit kayo naniniwala na ito ay dulot ng climate change? Simulan muna natin kay Javan. Okay.
So first, let's identify what engineering governance is. According to the World Bank Organization, engineering governance is all about implementation of law properly, allocation of budget, and infrastructure management. Also, United Nations Office of Disaster Risk identifies risk as hazard multiplied to vulnerability and exposure. Climate change is just a hazard that intensifies the rain, but it is our exposure and has vulnerability that's being at stake because of our poor engineering governance.
So it's always easy to pinpoint or magturoan when we are talking about problems sa community natin, specifically about flood control problems. So normally, tuturo natin sa gantong ahensya, sa gantong gobyerno. But technically, if we are talking about engineering governance and also substandard projects, any engineering structure can be standard unless there's a new factor that will be introduced na hindi natin kayang kontrolin, and that is climate change.
Sapat ba ang kasalukuyang engineering standards na nabanggit ninyo kanina sa ating bansa laban sa epekto ng pabago-bagong panahon?
On our team, we do not believe that the engineering standards that we do have is enough to suffice the effects of the calamities that can happen on us, specifically the effects of flooding. Our country has its own policies, has its own standards in engineering, but the application of these policies are not 100% attributed to the construction industry. Meaning to say, meron tayong mga polisiya na hindi natin ipinapatupad ng maayos, kaya tayo nagkakaganito sa lipunan natin.
So sa akin naman po, hindi rin naman po sapat yung ating current engineering governance. But kung titingnan natin yung structure ng question natin, we are referring to that climate change, yung pabago-bagong klima. So if we are going back to the question, kung saan ba talaga, since we are talking about cause and effect, makikita natin na yung magiging cause talaga nito is yung climate change. Kaya nga yun yung naging structure ng tanong. Kung naging sapat ba yung engineering governance in result doon sa ating current climate ngayon.
Dahil sinabi nga natin na hindi siya sapat. Eto, ano ba ang mas mabilis lumala? Ang tindi ng bagyo dahil sa climate change? O kalidad ng mga proyektong pang-infrastruktura kagaya ng flood control?
Naniniwala kami na ang mas matinding lumala ang ating effects of poor engineering governance. First, because our country does not have a strong foundation in the application of our rules and regulations, especially in the construction industry. Part of engineering governance is a proper application of laws, meaning to say we're not able to execute the standard construction that ends up with us facing the reverse effect of these constructions.
So para sa amin naman po, naniniwala po kami na mas mabilis pong lumala naman po yung effects po ng climate change. Bakit po? Since we are talking about engineering governance here, mas kayang kontrolin ng tao. Since you are also referring to your current standard system which is punishable also by law. So ibig sabihin, kung hindi nila masusunod yon, dapat silang ma-punish. Pero yung mga effects ng climate change, nagro-root siya sa human behavior which is something na kaya nating kontrolin. So that is why mas mabilis and mas kaya yun.
Kasalanan nga ba ng climate change ang malubhang pagbaha o resulta ba ito ng mga hindi natapos at substandard na flood control projects?
These are results of poor engineering governance. Why? Because we do have funds, we have resources. For instance, in the Department of Public Works and Highways, we have a ₱1 trillion budget that is supposed to suffice these flood control projects, but these pesos are rubbed on us. So bago pa dumating yung bagyo, nanakawan na tayo, hindi pa tayo tinatamaan ng isang sakuna, nakuha na sa atin ng mga politikong magnanakaw yung dapat nahaharang kapag tinamaan tayo ng mga matataas na kalamidad.
So naniniwala naman po ang aming side na syempre po, kasalanan po ng climate change. Again, we are referring to the root cause here. Kung maayos naman yung naging engineering structure within that certain data, then biglang lumala yung climate change, doon lang magkakaroon ng mas matinding problema sa baha. Kasi hindi kinaya ng engineering structure na ito na sundin yung standard na naset niya for that specific data or that specific area or that specific time.
Since you're already pointing out the root cause, ano ba yung action na dapat gawin to really combat climate change? And since we're already talking about flooding, what is essentially the human behavior that should be corrected in your terms in engineering governance at sa'yo ay how to combat really an unpredictable factor like climate change? J-Van.
On our end, we acknowledge that climate change is inevitable. However, there's already mathematical equations that is being utilized for us to determine the water runoff that will go down on our land surface. Meaning to say, we already have the data, we already have the historical track of our climatological changes so that meron na tayong datos kung ano ba yung pabago-bagong uri ng ating klima. So dapat knowledgeable enough na tayo in upgrading and maintenance of our systems so that kapag hinarap tayo sa malaking bagyo or sa isang sakuna, ay kaya na natin itong harapin.
So in our side naman po, you said na meron tayong data, meron tayong mathematical equation, but again, climate change in its simplest form is the long-term shifting of temperature. Hindi siya eksakto, hindi mo pwedeng sabihin na by this year, ganito lang yung rate na tataas ng climate change. By this year, ito lang yung masasabi mo na ito lang yung matatapon na basura ng tao, ito lang yung magiging increase in climate change. Hindi mo siya magagawa ng ganon. Your mathematical equation cannot equate to a specific year or specific Laging kapag climate change, extended period of time yan. Kaya nga meron tayong predictions na tinatawag. But at the same time, with that prediction,
So historically saying, we've been experiencing flooding since before climate change has been discovered. Binabaha na tayo dati because our settlements is being beside the waterways. So
Can
basically,
you
dapat
specify-
marunong na tayo
Can you specify
at naiintindihan na
yung
natin
climate
kung ano yung mga proseso na dapat nating ini-implement in our society.
Okay, so Javen and Justine, thank you so much. I want to hear from Legna and Brent. Is it really actionable? Or baka naman talagang, ay, wala naman pala tayong pwede talagang gawin dito. But we can only just be resilient. Yun ang lagi sinasabi sa atin ng ating gobyerno. Go, Brent.
Okay, siguro tatanungin muna kita. Climate change ba ang nag-skip ng maintenance schedule? Climate change din ba ang nag-approve ng defective projects? Climate change ba ang gumamit ng substandard materials? Di ba hindi naman? Desisyon ng tao yan. Ibig sabihin yung problema sa solvable na yan if we actually implement or execute those plans ng tama. Pero hindi natin ginawa. Kaya ang nangyayari, nagkakaroon tayo ng problema sa baha.
So for example, those are localized examples. If we look at the macro scale, if we look at the global level, we can actually mitigate the effects of climate change. Let's start with one. Renewable energy, transitioning to renewable energy. So many countries or many developing countries are already transitioning to that. So that one we can do. We can invest money into that. We can also put our budget into that. Those budget that we use on building and building and building, those that are being destructed by the climate change, we can put our budget into investing on the renewable energy. Two, we can also
Okay, tuloy natin yung mamaya. Lina, back to you, Brent.
Yan, sinasabi mo yung tungkol sa allocation of budget. In the first place, pwede naman tayong meron tayong iba't ibang flood control system. Pwede tayong gumamit ng nature-based solution, pero meron din tayong iba't ibang flood control system. Ibig sabihin, dun sa allocation of budget pa lang, ginawa na natin yun, nag-allocate na tayo ng budget sa bansa natin. Ang nangyari nga, hindi natin alam kung saan napunta yung budget na yun. Yung mga budget na yun napunta sa mga, yung nangyari sa DPWH. Ang pinapakita sa COA ay yun.
Okay, let's go back to what you said, nature-based solution. Nature-based solution means we are going to mitigate the effects of climate change, right? It's because we are focusing on the effects that nature brought upon to us. Okay, if we're going to focus on engineering governance, that means we're going to focus on risk-based solutions. But you said that we should focus on nature-based solution. That means we should go back to the cause, which is again, climate change, and that is solvable if we take actionable actions that focus on mitigating the root cause rather than just being reactive. We should be proactive rather than reactive. Thank you.
Okay, Leg. Go, Brent.
Ano ba ang nagko-control dun sa mga gumagawa ng mga projects na yon? Di ba gobyerno ang nag-aalat ng budget para doon? Di ba gobyerno ang nagbibigay ng budget para gumawa ng mga project na nakakapag-mitigate ng climate change at saka ng flood? Ibig sabihin, nasa gobyerno pa rin. Ibig sabihin, nasa gobyerno pa rin yung problema kasi hindi nga natin nagagawa yung mga project na yon.
Okay, so that is corruption. That is not poor engineering governance. That is corruption. All right? So if we're going to focus on engineering governance, it means we are allocating our budget more on the, again, climate-based action. So let's look at the macro scale again. Let's look at the other countries. Let's look at Singapore, Belgium. Let's look at Germany. They have good engineering governance. They have good flood control projects, but they also invest on climate adaptation. And what does that mean? That means they invest on river basins and they adjust. Okay, let me.
Free flow to.
Okay.
You can continue. Go.
Poor engineering governance pa rin ang dahilan. Dahil yung poor engineering governance, doon natin nalalaman kung vulnerable ang community. Yung bagyo o yung climate change, yung nagde-determine ng hazard, pero at the same time, yung poor engineering governance nagde-determine ng vulnerability ng isang community.
Okay, bakit ba muna may hazard? Let's go back to what you said. Bakit may hazard? It's because through time, yung climate change natin is mas lumalala. That's why yung ating mga UN efforts is mas focused on collective efforts, which is to mitigate or to somehow kind of reverse the effects nitong mga climate change this past few years. So, let me go to...
Pero hindi ba governance pa rin yung gumagawa ng mga decision na yun? Government pa rin yung gumagawa ng decision na yun? Ibig sabihin, government pa rin nag-aalat ng budget, yung government pa rin gumagawa ng proposed na project na yun. Ibig sabihin, nasa governance pa rin. Eh kung wala naman yung budget, ano magagawa?
Okay, point taken. We do acknowledge that some people do siphon off the budget that must be implemented on the flood control projects onto their own pockets. But that is a lot of more power dynamics included. Hindi lang sa, okay, ibig sabihin, kapag corrupt ako, ibig sabihin, yung building na yan, guguho na yan. It does not mean like that. It's because meron tayong mga building code in the Philippines and hindi na yan up to the standards itself if susundin mo ba siya. Nasa sarili mo na yung prinsipyo. But again, if we look into the macro scale of things, the climate change problem really does.
Okay, stop muna tayo. Thank you so much, Legna and Brent. Sige, palit muna. Nico and Toby. Nabanggit nyo kanina is corruption is different from poor governance. Is it really different? And kung hindi ba kinukurakot yung mga pondong ito, sa tingin nyo ba at par at kaya talagang ma-solve ng ating current engineering standards yung mga nagiging effects ng paiba-iba or exponential even na increase ng temperatura ng ating bansa? Not only flood ha, kasi may other effects pa ang climate change. Is it really that of a difference? If ever hindi nga kinukurakot, are we properly taking action? Yes or no? Toby.
Of course, I believe kung walang corruption, ay magkakaroon tayo ng better laban sa baha. Kasi if we compare natin yung other countries, according to World Bank, yung Thailand at Philippines, we experience the same climate. So kung climate change talaga ang problema, bakit when we experience the same rainfall event, ang Thailand nakaka-cope up sila? And that is because of their better infrastructure. While here in the Philippines, ang dami natin experience sa super typhoons, yet hindi natin ginagamit yung valuable data na yun para mag-upgrade the infrastructure. So, tanong ko sa'yo, climate change ba talaga ang problema? Hindi ba poor governance na?
So let's go to Thailand na sabi mo nga kanina. So sa Thailand, nagkaroon ng case wherein the Chao the river doon is yung nagkakolekta ng main yung mga rainfalls is nagkaroon ng super intense na rainfall na it goes well above the historical data, kaya napilitan silang mag-release ng thousands of water leading to flooding. So, technically, your analogy is not answering. So, and this sa Pilipinas, marami tayong orders like the DPWH Department Order 60, and as well as the National Climate Change Act. So marami tayong legislations and engineering governance steps that ensures that yung mga standards natin is up to the standards talaga.
Okay, Toby?
Oh, come on, let's stop blaming climate change sa negligence ng governance natin. Dahil as planners, it is our job to continuously create designs na nag-a-adapt sa ating changing conditions. And again, sinabi ko nga na ang dami na natin naranasan na numerous at unprecedented na typhoons. According nga kay Dr. Abracosa ng UP, hindi kakulangan sa technical expertise at fund ang problema sa Pilipinas. It's the embedded corruption. And yes, part siya ng engineering governance dahil nagkakaroon tayo ng hindrance sa pag-i-invest ng other useful na infrastructures at environmental systems sa Pilipinas.
Okay, love that. Blame the government, that's true. But you are not you are forgetting one factor. Okay, tanggalin natin yung corruption sa Philippines. Let's go to that utopian world na walang corruption and lahat effective. Puntahan natin ang ibang countries like sinabi mo Thailand, Singapore, may Dutch and other countries na maganda ang kanilang governance but still may common denominator tayo sa kanila and lagi sila nakaka-experience ng severe flooding kasi yung mga historical data na ginagamit nila for the prediction and pag-design ng mga flood controls is inefficient kasi nga exponential yung change ng binibigay ng climate change.
I think common sense lang. Rainfall, kahit walang climate change, babaha because it's a natural phenomena. Ang job kasi ng good governance, it's not to literally stop flooding, but to prevent it from being a problem sa baha. And according nga sa World Bank, yung mga nations na to na mayayaman, although binabaha pa rin sila, pero minsan lang and they suffer less economic loss, less taong namamatay, and they recover much faster. Bakit din sa Pilipinas, kahit milyon, bilyon yung ina-invest natin, ay binabaha pa rin tayo, given na meron tayong technical data na matagal natin pinag-aaralan ang climate change at typhoon.
Okay, let's go back din sa mga naging first speaker mo wherein they are saying that dapat maganda yung engineering governance natin. But the engineering governance kasi is nakadepende din sa mga historical data, sa mga 50, 100, 1,000 year records na nire-record talaga since nag-start ang mga countries na mag-record ng mga pagbaha for the flood control mitigations. But still, maraming studies like Emam et al. 2017, nagsabi na unexpected yung naging increase sa rainfall ng Jakarta na nagkaroon ng 130% increase or double the normal range nung pag-rainfall and pagbaha. Kaya hindi nila agad nasolusyonan. That's why nangyari yung Jakarta, Indonesia New Year's flood na event.
Meron ba talagang negligence in terms of not just the government, but also the country or the Filipinos as a whole when it comes to climate change? Or are we saying na sapat na talaga ang kaalaman na at technical expertise ng mga Filipino engineers at ng mga tao themselves when it comes to reacting to climate change para masabi nating ang issue talaga ay poor engineering governance?
Again, in the Philippines nga, sobrang dami natin na-experience na numerous typhoons, even unprecedented ones. According nga sa Pag-asa, yung pinakamalakas na typhoon na tumama sa atin noong 2020 is Typhoon Rolly. So again, with this valuable data, again, unprecedented siya, sobrang lakas niya. Bakit hindi pa rin natin ginagamit tong data sa to? Bakit throughout the years, it is evident na kahit normal rainfall event ay binabaha pa rin tayo. Bakit kahit normal event pa rin, sobrang daming buhay pa rin yung nawawala, sobrang daming economic losses.
Given na yan, totoo naman na it is a collective fault then in terms of the flooding. So what we're trying to point here is that the poor engineering management is not the main cause, but the majority of the flooding is because of the unprecedented effects na binibigay ng climate change. For example, sa Mindanao is historically identified as safe from sa
I think
typhoon.
it's time to stop blaming climate change. Ang pinaka-problema natin, hindi yung unprecedented na pangyayari. Again, as planners, it is our job to create designs na future-proof na nag-a-adapt lagi sa climate.
Yes, tama naman na dapat magplano tayo. But engineers and even everyone here cannot plan or cannot predict what is not in the record. Kasi dapat yung mga prediction natin is may base at, right? And yung mga baseline is the
and that's why
history.
we blame poor governance.
No, it's not, because the climate change is introducing new factors. It's introducing exponential threats that cannot be contained in a single mathematical equation.
Okay, maraming salamat. Simula pa lamang ito ng isang mainit na debate ngayong araw dahil mas marami pa kayong mapapakinggang perspective mula sa ating mga debaters. At lahat ng yan ay dito lang sa Schoolmates.